tradition this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. And love and tradition of the grand design, some people say is even harder to find.
Okay, so by the time this gets posted, so first of all, how about them Cowboys? But by the time this podcast gets posted,
how about them?
It will be after the Cowboy Niner game. So first things first, let's get predictions. Jeet, who's going to win the Niner Cowboy game, and what's the score going to be?
Niners. I have no idea about football, so I can't predict the score.
Nice.
Okay,
nice.
Benjamin,
I want you to put up a chart right now over me. Around and find out.
Ben, you can't include that.
Yes, you can.
You just cost us more money.
We have a warning in the front of our podcast.
Okay, I want to hear my prediction.
Niners 21-17.
Whoa.
Ooh.
I'm going Niners 30, Cowboys. Well, they can't kick extra points.
Oh my!
So I'm going Niners 30, Cowboys 17.
Oh, interesting.
See, I think
Dak Prescott 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy will throw 1 interception to Diggs. For sure, going to jump a route.
on who? Who would Diggs cover?
Ooh,
He's got a
probably Ayuk.
I think Jawan Jennings will have a big game if that's the case.
I'd be willing to bet any amount of money that the Niners will beat the Cowboys. Not any amount, but like.
So the Niners are favored by 5. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Yes.
I'm thinking. So
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Come on, I'm the only Cowboy. I'm the only Cowboy.
Actually, like you've been for your whole
my
life.
entire life. Yeah, Cowboy fan. So I am predicting a upset. Purdy's gonna melt down.
Oh my God.
He's gonna throw 2 picks, maybe a butt fumble.
Not the Mark Sanchez butt fumble.
Can I ask you, over under 100 yards, how many rushing yards is McCaffrey going to have against the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, I mean, he's probably gonna have 110 yards. But I also feel like Pollard and Zeke are gonna combine for at least 100 yards.
I agree.
But at the end of the day,
CeeDee Lamb for sure over 100 yards.
yeah, Cowboys are going to sneak out with the victory. Final score, 32-30.
Wow.
It's going to be an odd one.
That's a shootout.
Yep, it's going to be
When you can't kick extra points there.
Exactly.
He's adjusting for that.
Yeah.
Hey, to be honest, they're saying that between 60 and 70 million people are expected to watch this game.
Yeah, it's going to be insane.
Yeah,
Back to 1994.
Yeah.
If this was in a dome, it would just shatter.
Give me 49er throwback jerseys from the 80s.
Okay.
Like old school.
I think the Cowboys should wear them too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we should go
Back
old
to
school
the Deion
jerseys.
Sanders, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana.
Absolutely.
This
Troy
is going to be
Aikman.
wild.
Jeet, you want to go to your first big game?
100%.
All right, $1,700 a ticket.
Jeez.
I told Dave earlier, you have to go to this game, buy the tickets, and then bet on someone that you think's going to win just to make that money back. What you're spending.
See, ticket prices are a direct correlation to real estate, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a great segue.
When prices are going crazy like that and people are still gobbling them up, well, clearly they think $1,700 for a ticket is affordable.
I was saying the same thing about the parking lot for the Niners. You can get an 8x4 parking structure for $150. What is that price per square foot for that? About $300 or so, which in real estate terms, you're looking at a pretty solid deal for a couple hours if you're tailgating.
You know what I think one of the best investments is? Parking lots.
That's what I'm saying.
You know who made more money
That's
from
what I'm
parking
saying.
lots than any child actor? Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
He's now a professional car driver.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Travis Pastrana is going to be Daytona 500.
That's what I'm
as well.
saying. For every 8x3 you're making $150 off of, that you're making
Just
so much money.
like they all had professional careers, so did a lot of these real estate agents that can't seem to sell a house that are leaving the real estate business.
Buy the lots.
Yeah, no, for sure. And if you were at our last podcast, which you weren't, we talked about new laws for California in 2023, and one of those is having the ability to turn parking lots into housing without having to have local approval. So you should go back and watch that. It's really good information.
Aaron's first podcast as a dad.
Yeah.
Healthy baby girl, Avery.
Just
under 8 pounds.
Avery David Durbacher, right?
That's right.
We should have had a guess for, instead of our weight, we should have had a guess for Aaron's baby of the height and weight.
Well, so far she's taken after her mom. She's very calm, cool, and collected.
Thank God for that. that answer could have gone either way. All right. Well, I guess it's time to talk about real estate. I will start with the market minute. We're mid-January right now. We know inventory is going to be up. we talked about it last week. There was nothing on the market. Aaron, I know you're going to talk about the activity at your Quarry Park listing a little bit, and that is reflective of the fact that there's very little inventory and still a lot of buyer demand. But jumping into the numbers here, Santa Clara County single-family homes, we're looking at a whopping 481. We're up 21 houses from last week. Pendings are up 50, so we're up to 292 pendings. And then on the condo and townhome side, we are up. We're at 253, so we're up 11 units. Not a big deal. And pendings are up 18 to 142 units in contract right now. So, nothing really surprising there. We know inventory is going to increase. But I think what's been surprising, at least for me, and Aaron, you can jump in here too, is the amount of buyer activity at the beginning of this year. What happened with your Quarry Park open house and offer deadline?
So we went on the listing appointment together. This is at the base of Communications Hill. It is not on Communications Hill. It's a 4,000 square foot lot with a 1,700 square foot house, 3-bed, 2-bath, built in 1996. So compared to the traditional ranch style home, it is a bit newer. High ceilings, that typical 90s kind of feel, but the homeowners have taken a really good care of the house. Pouring rain, as you know, big Niner game was on. We had 175 people, which is about, give or take, 100 groups. We have been seeing about 10 groups previous to this. This home, in my opinion, respectfully, is nothing super special. We priced it pretty close to what we felt like the value was,
which was
we felt like right around 1.3. But it's always better to go slightly under. We use a classic technique. You kind of look at Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, look at the way that a consumer would look at property. The parameters for the search criteria are under 1.25, and then there's a big jump and it goes to 1.5, which is the preset default. So naturally you're going to get a little bit more eyeballs, which we did. So right now we are at 8 offers submitted correctly, 11 total offers, and I expect the property to sell over 1.4.
Do you see a lot of these buyers who are, and you can answer this too because you just had your Smith Ranch one, do you see a lot of buyers who are coming in now starting to look like they're just getting back into the market, or are these buyers who are approved, ready to go, ready to submit?
Well, I think it's a combination, right? I mean, it's buyers that, said, hey, I want to take some time and regroup. It's new buyers into the market, and it's buyers that have been looking this entire time, couldn't find the right place. And I think now, I think a lot of times people just have it in their head like, okay, 2023, this is going to be the year I'm going to buy a house.
It's like a gym membership.
Yeah, exactly. And because the amount of buyer activity that we've seen, and, you just came from that top producer mastermind that we're a part of. I mean, all of the other top producers in our valley are saying the same thing. There's a lot of buyer activity coming out at the beginning of the year.
You think these buyers are becoming more just accustomed to the interest rates now? It's funny.
I don't think they know any different.
Yeah.
I mean, rates have been up for a year now, right? I mean,
well, I was just going to say it's funny because I sent that text message the other day to you guys, and the first podcast on January 12th, 2022, you were talking about, or you first mentioned there's about 4,000 homes on the market, condos, townhomes, and single-family homes, and you mentioned interest rates are going from 3 to 4. You said in the podcast they might even hit 5. Now that we're at 5,
and
obviously,
Mark predicted the market to go up, and I predicted the market to go down, and what happened?
Yeah.
But here's what I've really noticed. I think over the last 3 to 4 months, in particular, this past weekend, a lot of people weren't super clear on what they wanted. They were maybe coming from Sunnyvale, Mountain View, and going south to South San Jose to Cambria, into areas that they had never explored, but they're looking at entry-level price points, right? As opposed to getting a townhouse or a condo in Mountain View or Sunnyvale, they're wanting a single family. But that single family is an entry-level price point between 1.1 and 1.4, whereas the higher-end market in Los Gatos is not moving like the entry-level price point of, let's say, Cambria.
Yeah, but I also think too, so we know prices peaked in May of last year. And so what happened is you go from a market that's like this, then you go into a transitional market. So that transitional market was essentially from May until January, and now we're in our new market, right? I mean, to your point, people now understand the market. They understand that inventory is not going to triple or quadruple. They understand that rates are going to stay about what they're at. And they also understand that if they don't, and they also understand that sellers aren't going to dump these houses off at a huge discount.
Right. It cannot go much lower than it is or was now.
No, not unless there's some major outside factors.
Even with all the flooding, the rain, I mean, you're never going to get above 2,000 homes, I would say, in the Bay Area.
And last year I said, hey, don't buy. Okay, but now we're in January. I am telling you, buyers right now that don't choose to buy between now and June, they're going to regret it. Because prices will end up going up as we get through the second half of this year. Right now, I think between now and maybe May.
Dude, you're making me shake.
And I think
I'm like,
it's
well,
fair.
I mean, but look,
it's like I'm anxious.
But Jeet and Ben, you guys are writing offers now for your buyers, right? Over the last 2 weeks. I mean, I've had conversations with you guys, and it seemed, you guys are writing more offers now in the last week or so than you did all the last 2 months.
Yeah, I think a lot of my buyers that took some time off over the holidays are now just like regrouping. They're like, okay, this year we need to buy a house. They realize that the prices have come down. They know that the rates are not going to come back down lower than we won't see the 3% anytime soon. Inflation is starting to come under control, and I think they realize that this is a good time to get that hefty discount on the purchase price.
There's two big takeaways that I've had over the past 2 weeks or so. One is asking clients why they're going to take a break. I have one client who can go up to $4 million. He's looking in Sunnyvale, Los Altos. He says, I'm taking a break. And I said, why? And he said, because rates are high. And what you need to remember as a buyer, if you're watching this, is that whatever you lock in at today, your payment's never going to be worse today than it is today, essentially, right? In 2 years, I know that sounds kind of stupid, but in 2 years, your payment's going to be the same, if not a little bit less. But theoretically, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, rates are eventually going to have to go back down slightly, and that's when you're going to refinance.
Right. And if you opt to wait for rates to go down, home prices are going to go up. So would you rather overpay for a rate or overpay for a house?
That was the transition to number two, is exactly what I had to explain. No one in 2009 said, you're buying a house right now? That's the best idea you ever had. But in 2015, 2017, 2023, they're saying, holy shit, I wish I bought more houses in 2009.
And these are all questions as buyers who are listening to this to ask a real estate expert like us and try to get that plan going. I feel like a lot of buyers start to rush when they feel like, and they hear things like, well, you need to buy between the next 6 months, and they're already in a lease, and the lease is ending in, let's say, 2 months. They start to rush, feeling the pressure of they need to lock something in beforehand. There's ways around that, especially, with us who work with property management companies and tenants like that. There are ways to plan in advance of either extending the lease 30 days, extending the lease 60 days, understanding what month to month is on it, but to really set yourself up for success in those next 6 months as a buyer.
And I've rolled out a new program. A lease buyout program. If you want to buy a house and you buy a house and you are stuck in a lease, let me know. I will buy it out for you. So will Ben. So will David.
Nice.
So will Jeet.
I don't know that I
Don't
will
worry,
buy
I got all the kinks worked out already.
I don't know that I'll do a lease buyout.
No problem. Send them over to me.
But I will help you negotiate a way to get out of that lease. I mean, there's lots of options. I think, to your point, Aaron.
Come to me, baby.
All right. Well, anybody out there that wants to buy a house and get out of your lease, Aaron Derbacher guarantees
Guaranteed.
a lease buyout.
Guaranteed.
Satisfaction guaranteed.
No little asterisk at the bottom. Terms and
Absolutely.
conditions apply.
There's lots
Pepsi,
of
where's my
asterisks.
jet?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
funny.
by the way, Tim Cook took a 50% pay cut.
And is only making $49 million a year.
He's supposed to make $100 million this year.
Yeah, now he's only making 49.
Shame.
But I thought it was interesting. He's basing his new salary on what Apple profit is, I guess. Like theoretically based on what the
Some calculation
if
based
you
on profit.
if you hold stock how you're kind of getting paid. I think that's the best way.
Is Apple making their own Oculus?
That's a Jeet or a David question.
The answer is it's supposed to come out like first quarter of this year.
That's what I heard. I recently read something about that where they might have their own.
But they're also supposed to come out with a car.
So-
Apple car coming soon.
David was helping me on my laptop yesterday. So obviously there's the Apple iPhone. Why doesn't Apple make a touchscreen laptop?
They are actually working on that right now too.
David kept touching the screen because you could do it, and I was like, they have probably the best phone on the market.
What would be the difference between a touchscreen laptop
Because you can
and
like
an iPad?
swipe and
It's huge. I use a touchscreen on my laptop.
But like
all the
compared to
time.
like an iPad, where you just
What's
connect
the difference?
Well,
Oh.
you connect like a
I don't
keyboard.
know.
Keyboard to it.
Ask someone who bought an iPad versus a Mac.
Yeah, it's just
Jacob's a big Apple guy. You can ask him after the
think-
podcast.
I think a lot of people do that now because the iPad Pro does a lot of the things that the MacBook can, but I guess people in the creative space, I mean, Jacob can probably vouch, but I think the MacBook Pro definitely has more functionality to it compared to the iPad Pro.
Software difference, yeah.
Yeah.
So where's the hotspots for this year?
Oh,
Talking about buying.
Yeah,
for first-time home buyers.
Where are you bullish on?
Outside of our
I think
area.
let's do both.
Oof.
Besides Austin, Texas.
95124, baby.
95124.
Absolutely. I'm seeing so many motivated sellers and just people who are putting their properties on the market. And again, as much as we see these people coming into open houses, 75, 100 people, we're still not getting those offers like we were in 2022. There's still 7, 8 offers on the Smith Ranch, 4, 5. There are these spots in Cambrian, Willow Glen. When I say Willow Glen, you have to be careful on what side of Willow Glen, whether it's feeding into Del Mar or feeding into Willow Glen High School. But these sellers are starting their homes off at like 1.3, getting like 2 to 3 offers on them, ending up at 1.3, 1.4. And those are all areas where last year those were at 1.8.
Yeah, and in
They're down.
2021, you couldn't even really get in.
could not.
That's why so many people went to Santa Teresa.
Right, which I think is, a follow-up to 95124 is 95123.
So you're hot on 95124.
95123?
Which part?
Anything by Sakamoto, anything that runs along Colleen in the foothills there. So essentially anything that is south of Santa Teresa Boulevard.
So
right?
Santa has the good schools.
Good schools,
cleaner area.
good scenery, good neighborhoods, anywhere along that ridge line.
Yeah, and I mean, for those people that may see this that grew up in Santa Teresa in the 80s or 90s, I mean, it's come a long way. You got the whole Cottle Shopping Center. You have Costco.
Yeah.
The lot sizes are way bigger, and once you're out there, it's much prettier.
It is, and and now that Morgan Hill is starting to grow up, a lot of people in South San Jose just shoot over to Morgan Hill on the weekends, go downtown Morgan Hill.
Yeah.
Lots of good restaurants, dining spots, bars, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I was talking to Jeet about this the other day, and one of my buddies, Nick, and there's a property over there in Willow Glen, priced I think a little higher than necessary, but we call her every other day mentioning the same number. Oh, we have a buyer interested in this price point, just trying to get that stuck into the owner's head that this is what this neighborhood is trying to, because again, like you said, these people aren't just offloading properties. So they're obviously still properties that are well over what they should be, but again, as a buyer, if you have the time and patience, stay consistent on those properties that you're interested in and keep working at them.
Jeet, hotspot.
I think 95136 is a good spot too. Right by Communication Hill, Thousand Oaks neighborhood. It's
Thousand
pretty
Oaks,
growing.
super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
those are probably the two good areas in 95136, right? I mean, if you map out 136, I'd stay in those two areas.
Yeah, I mean Cambrian's growing, so I think if you buy anywhere in Cambrian, that's pretty good too. I had a couple of buyers that bought in Cambrian last year, and they're pretty happy with their purchase. I mean, tree-lined streets, good schools overall, pretty safe neighborhood, lots of things to do. So I think Cambrian you can't go wrong with.
Aaron, hotspot.
Hot on 95050.
050.
Yeah. If you guys have made it over to like Levi Stadium area, that's going to be, I think, we always have the running joke that downtown San Jose is going to get cleaned up and be super nice. Santa Clara is by a whole bunch of tech. They have open blank space to play with, and houses out there you can get over on like Scott, some of those major junctions over there, $900 to $1 million. 3-bed, 1-bath.
Are you talking about single family homes?
Yeah, single family.
It's interesting because when you go more into Santa Clara, like closer to Newhall and stuff, I swear that's the only neighborhood that has just consistently kept their price per square foot up to where like Los Gatos price per square foot is. It's
Houses
unfathomable.
are a little small, but what I don't really love over there is you're right by the university, so it can get a little rowdy.
And they're for small. They're for like 3-bedroom, 1-bath.
That rowdy Santa Clara University.
I mean, now that I'm a dad.
It's not Chico, bro. It's Santa Clara University.
Listen, man. Hot on 950.
Would you recommend, I asked the question to these guys a couple weeks ago, would you recommend, like, what do you tell your friends? If you have the money and you can invest in a home right now in this area, do you recommend them getting in a duplex, 2 to 4 unit, or single family home?
Because
the older generation always says, at least to me, think about a duplex, longevity, growth.
I mean, there's two types of people. Those who are very frugal and conservative that are totally cool with living in a duplex on one side, and that's not really my style. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it, right? So I am a very firm believer of your first home getting try to focus on the things that are really important to you. Neighborhood, floor plan, lot size, those sorts of things. You can't change the neighbors around you, so make sure you don't surrounded by like a dumpy house or something. But being able to just do a cosmetic work to your home, right? If you're putting in a $30,000 kitchen, I would say the return on that is probably usually about $100,000. So if you're able to, create some equity in the home, then you can refinance down the road. You don't have to sell when rates do drop, right? And you're never not able to get to the next chapter of your life, right? So say you're at Google and you have an incredible opportunity to move to, God forbid we say Austin, but the market's down from when you bought the house, but you're able to put $100,000 into it and it's $300,000 more than what you bought it for, even in a kind of down flat market, you're never going to lose money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I had that quote that we said the other day, Jeet, don't step over $1 to pick up the dime. And I kind of...
Oh, it sounds like you've heard me on the phone. It's actually don't step over $1 to pick up a penny, but...
Oh.
Listen, it's the same thing.
David Dallum. I'm a dad. I have way more knowledge now.
You got dad jokes?
Dad jokes.
We should start every podcast with a dad joke. Speaking of different things on podcasts, Mustache Market Minute. I know you missed it. Welcome back, buddy.
You need to shave it.
Yeah,
Stop.
I'm thinking 2023, dude. It's
So we are coming up on my 1 year anniversary of the stash. Started in March.
You know what? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like an Instagram poll to see if Ben should shave the stash.
I'm gonna need all that 5% on YouTube to come out right now.
It's time.
and then whatever the people say, then you got to do it, and
All right.
we'll shave it here on the podcast.
Live.
Wow.
All right.
That's happening, right? February first podcast in February.
Mark
Okay,
on the
hold on,
poll.
it's my birthday. We can't do it on the birthday week. Do it like the week after.
If you get more than 51% to say shave the mustache, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
After
Fair?
your birthday.
Do you agree?
All right, sure.
Agree?
Shake.
Right
hand.
All right.
Who gets to shave it? I get left side.
I get right side.
Jeet
the
gets middle.
Well, until
The
then.
mustache.
Oh, wow.
How are we doing the middle last?
Moving forward.
Moving forward. And while we still have the mustache, we'll give you a mustache market minute.
All right.
As a seller, we obviously, talked about buyers over the last few weeks and interest rates and everything. But as a seller, if you're thinking about selling in the future, I think personally a solid timeline would be to start 5 to 6 months in advance. As a seller, obviously, you want to stick your home in the best light possible, which I think you need to give yourself at least a month to 2 months in advance to either start doing renovations, fix up landscaping, touch up paint, whether that's inside or outside of the house. Want to give yourself another 2 weeks to get your photography done, stage the property, start marketing the property out to the public. In this market, obviously, another 2 to 4 weeks of showing and open houses. Then once you get into contract, your 4-week escrow period.
This is a mustache hot take or a mustache minute?
Hot take.
Okay.
But again, as a seller, you want to plan that out. You want to understand exactly where you're thinking about going, what that timeline is to make you move over there, and then you start working backwards. And I'm a big proponent of working backwards through a timeline. That way you're never really missing anything, but sort of catching up the time.
So that's what you guys did on Stockbridge, right?
Inside joke.
If you're gonna recommend, you say you get the listing and you're gonna recommend some changes. What do you think the 2 things that you would do are to the house if it's kind of a dated early 2000s house? I say kitchen and paint.
Well, I'm gonna say paint and landscaping.
Paint and landscape. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily touch. Well, it depends on how many other rooms in the house would need updating. If it's just the kitchen, then the kitchen. But if there's kitchen and bathrooms, I wouldn't touch either. I'd go strictly painting.
Because
and floors.
If you have those old school tiles, there's some really cool paint out now that you can paint those like brownish 70s tiles, like gray, white. And
People come into the homes anyways, and that's the first thing they do as buyers start ripping up.
Oh, you
kitchens,
sound like a seller.
bathrooms.
But here's the thing. If you're spending money to do it, you're getting money in return because oftentimes they're giving you a value for a remodel. Like we put magnets on the cabinets so they like close nicer now. That's gone a long way. We painted them white. We kept the crummy old vanities, painted them white, put handle pulls on, and then put countertops on. Full remodel value. Cost us $2,000 and they gave us 10.
Yep.
Is that a remodel of a kitchen or like a refurbish of a kitchen?
It's a refresh, right?
It's like a refresh. That's what I'm saying. That's a refresh.
It's like do you call a re-roofed roof a new roof or a fixed roof?
You call it a new roof.
New roof.
But it's because it's new.
about-
Because it's a new roof.
I was so happy you guys were going to debate me on that. I say it's a new roof. Do you know a lot of people say
He said it's a new roof.
I know, but a lot of people are telling me it's a fixed roof, and it's half the price.
Of what?
A new roof.
Fixing the roof is half the price of a new roof?
So a new roof includes all new plywood underneath, including like the rafters and everything.
Okay.
So it's actually not a new roof.
So if you put a roof on the roof.
I call it a new roof, but anyways.
you know what?
I guess
we'll
it's
have
not
a
even-
roofer on the podcast.
Yeah, our next podcast is going to be on a roof.
I'd appreciate you not screaming in my ear. Thank you.
So a little loud?
To remind you of your child.
No, she doesn't really cry.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Losers.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Because,
Wait.
Wait, what?
Wait. A couple weeks ago, we asked the crowd to give us new names for our podcast.
Yep.
David actually has narrowed down all the suggestions from the people who have tuned in.
Yep.
And he's going to give us some of them.
And we're going to talk about it on our next podcast.
Okay, I have one thing.
All right.
Right now, there's a lot of new buyers. If you're a new buyer in the market, please, when you click the Redfin or
I'm dying over here. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
our mics cut out. Oh, if you are looking to tour a home, you're using Redfin or Zillow, you're getting paired up with random agents. Please, you're not stuck with those people. Make sure you like them. Make sure they're a good, reputable agent. Look at their reviews, those sorts of things. I've had some really bad experiences in the past week. I mean, guys, let me put it super transparent.
You're not going to go home with a random person at a bar. Why would you let a random agent show your house?
That's right, Dave. Because these people are licensed real estate agents. There's a reason we have a bad rep. They're submitting offers incorrectly. They're submitting offers without contract. Guys, this is your biggest purchase. Please give us a chance.
To piggyback that real quick, when you click Zillow, they send you a response. Zillow sends you a response email asking you, is this your agent? If you click yes on that, every single home that you click on Zillow from there on out will get sent to that exact same person. If you leave it blank and don't touch it, you can then feel free to click on whatever property and not have someone in your ear.
If they look like a schmo, they're probably a schmo. Anyways.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, Aaron, congrats on the baby.
Thank you.
Go Cowboys.
Go Niners.
Go Niners. Bang, bang.
Go Jeet.
Go Niners.
You're fired.